Lovers quarrel. It's a long sustained quarrel.
What's going on, world?
Hello, everybody.
It's your guy, TJ, Mr. New Cool.
And it's your girl, Danny, your always languid lion.
Languid?
Languid is a synonym for sleepy.
Okay. New big words out here.
I know. So there you go. Languid means sleepy or tired.
Oh, languid.
People gonna get smarter listening to our show.
I'm so languid today. Did I
Yes.
use it? Did I use it in the right context?
Yes, you did, babe.
All right, cool.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm actually very good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Every time I'm with you, I'm well.
Okay.
Don't make that face.
Okay.
Don't make that face.
Okay.
You see? That's why I can't give compliments, so I can't be sweet. Because
You're right.
you don't take me serious.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
And she apologized. Listen,
We on a good start already.
we're on a great start.
So with that being said, welcome to another episode of Lovers Quarrel.
Yes.
We are in the month of February, and we have another guest, a great guest for you guys. So say
I'm
hi.
really excited about my guest, though.
So this is Kira. Of course, we always formally introduce our guests, and we give them the proper introduction a little later in the episode. But we're going to just jump right in. And you ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So we are going to always start with our elevator talk. So
You got it.
you want me to go first? You want me to go first?
No, you got it.
All right. Going down. So real simple, common thing that everybody that pretty much has melanin deals with of some varying degree. I'm just lately have been not necessarily noticing, but just there's been like a slight uptick in the microaggressions and the bias. People's bias have been showing in certain places, some of it at work. And I won't get too much into it, but I just sometimes even though I work with children who look like me and who are of color, black and brown children all day, every day, sometimes the other adults are not all black and brown people, and that's okay, that's fine. But and also even just in day to day, where we live, there's people in Maryland, there's people of all different races where we're from, and basically though I've just been noticing it's just an uptick in people's saying things, and their reactions to certain situations is has been giving them kind of the side eye. One thing my sister always kind of taught me is if you have to look at somebody twice, if you have to do a double take at what they've said, you chances are you're not tripping that there was something wrong with what they said, or there was more to it. And so it's just frustrating because
but that's the climate that we're in right now.
it is it's kind of the climate we've always been in, and it's just just lately I've been saying,
but it's never been. The climate's changed ever since you're president.
No,
It changed back.
yeah,
But
thank you.
It became out in the open, is what I'm saying. It's always been the microaggressions and everything, but it was kind of it wasn't as bold. Now they're there.
We had a calm 20 years.
Yeah.
And it changed back to what it used to be.
Yeah.
It's back to the hoses. It's back to the gas and everything.
It's terrible.
So just saying that all to say, not to say, we all agree, they've always been there, but just this week, I've seen a little upswing in it, and it's exhausting because it goes back and forth between do I address this as for what it is, because then you're opening up a whole new conversation that unfortunately sometimes we don't have the time or the bandwidth in our heads to go over with the person. So it's just, there's that part of it too. So that's what I said. I'm just, tired of the microaggressions and people's bias showing in the way that they conduct themselves or the way that they act towards certain situations or certain people. Cause shit is exhausting ultimately, especially when you feel you're always have to be the voice to say what you have to say. So that is my elevator talk for the week.
Can I go up?
Going up.
So we're in February, and this is the midway point for basketball. So fantasy league, that's almost finished. I'm number 1 right now.
Oh my
so that's
he talks about this all the time.
I gotta keep that number 1. Listen, that's money right there.
It is.
So me and my brother, we're 1 and 2, and we're keeping going back and forth.
And then my brother-in-law's in there too.
And he's number 10.
Oh, leave my brother alone. Leave my brother alone.
He may be number 8, but he's definitely funding the league. So I like this time of the year because this is when basketball's gonna get a little bit more serious. This is when it's gonna be more competitive, and it's
And then March Madness will then be upon us right after this.
Yeah, well,
What's college,
well,
but
NBA. Well, no, that's perfect too because listen, we got Zion Williamson. He's exciting. Like he's the real deal.
I don't know who that is. Somebody exciting in
He's
Baltimore.
the number one consensus player. He plays for Duke. He has all the hype. He's like LeBron if LeBron went to college.
I've never heard this name before, but I believe you. I believe you.
Anyway, so I'm excited about that. This is it's a fun time for basketball. Also, Kobe Bryant coaches his daughter.
Yes, he
And
does.
they have videos of her, and she's going to be a problem. Like, I can't wait for her to, like...
Baby Mamba.
Yes, I can't wait for her to go to college and be able to, like, watch her college basketball games. Because I know I'm going to get 3 to 4 years of just watching her do what she does.
Is this the oldest daughter or the second oldest daughter?
If I'm not mistaken, it's the oldest.
Oh, that's dope though. I did see the clip of that, and she did like.
Nah, she's super now, so I don't know if this is considered like microaggressions, but this is like there are a lot of people who's like, if only he had a son, we'll be like, you know what I mean?
It is. It's like
it's a lot of sexism.
Sexism.
It's just like if you like for me, I like basketball, so I'll watch women's, men, kids. Like I just love the game so much that regardless of who's playing, I'm gonna watch. So. Like true basketball players, like appreciate women's basketball. People who don't, they're not dunking, they're not doing this. But like, if you want to see like a real
good game,
but a real like fundamental game, watch women's basketball.
Sure.
Because again, they're not dunking, so they really have to use like skills. Like there's like they can all run like it's more like level playing field. So you get to actually see them like set picks and rolls and set plays and
Yeah, it's like watch it kind of unfurl, like you watch them.
If you want to watch like real wrestling, like I said, like when my Sparks won, I think it was 2 years ago, like a Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and I'm in the living room like. Oh
yeah, he was like losing his mind. I remember that.
Like watching it. So
yeah, I think I was pregnant with Tatum. You were like zapping it. Yeah.
So.
It's funny, like, and your mother carries. So it's like I feel like sometimes life is always just like before or after the baby. Like it's just like that's like your line and this like your marker.
I remember those days.
Yeah. And so I mean that's cool though, and I appreciate you acknowledging that because I was thinking about that. I saw people saying like, oh, but you imagine if he had a son. It's like no, he has a daughter and he's doing what he's supposed to do with his daughter. If she wants to hoop. And he's coaching her, and she's killing it. Like that's it. Like don't talk about if he only had a son, and he would be doing X number.
It's just like the social expectations of it, though, because the daughter will never make it into the NBA.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's like ultimately you can't be a Laker like your dad. So I think that's more so what people saying. You could be Lisa Leslie. You could be whoever you want to be.
She could be the greatest women's basketball player we ever seen.
Right,
we haven't.
Because of the whole marriage thing, there will never be another Bryant. Yeah. Probably because she'll go and she'll be whatever her husband's legacy is. So that's what people say when they say, I hope he has a boy. Because like with Steph Curry, girl after girl after girl, and it was like, oh my God, we need another Curry because Curry's coming from the line of the Currys. Yeah. So now that he has the boy, it's like, not that we don't love Riley, you know what I mean? But it's like we have another Curry now to continue this
on. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean...
I say that all the time about the Obamas.
Yeah,
I would just come on, give us a baby Obama boy. You know,
but
Sasha and Malaya are not going to keep Obama. They're probably going to go and make up their own last names, as independent as they are.
They might because they might be like that's a lot of. Because like I can see it both ways. Like there's a lot of pressure that comes with that, and then you might want to like kind of taking another man's last name. Their husband's last name could help alleviate some of that, but then also there's also be like a lot of pride. And be like,
I'm an Obama.
Fuck that.
I'm gonna say.
That may be like the one time that I'll be like, I'll take the last name.
Like Obama, sign me up, please.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think it's dope that he's with that, and as a daddy's girl.
I feel like he's at peace with that. I don't think Kobe's like.
I need my boy.
Yeah, because they have another baby, but it's a girl, so it's like four girls. And so I think it is what it is, and I mean
that's just like I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done. That's it.
Like we try, and sometimes you're just destined to have one gender of child, and that's okay. But we put too much pressure on ourselves with something that we cannot predict when it comes to like the sex of our kids.
Yeah.
So,
and Do you have a
anything on your spirit?
Are we going up or down?
Elevator talk. We're gonna go up.
Okay. So
let's
we staying up.
Yeah, we're staying up.
Let's keep the mood light.
I made the New Year's resolution this year because I'm one of those people that are very big on resolutions and the stars. And a lot of people think that it's just about talk, but it's really about the energy with the planets and everything, how everything aligns. So I noticed myself year after year making resolutions and year after year failing on them. By January, by February, it was done. I was back to my same stagnant behavior. So this year's resolution was to stop making resolutions. So in the spirit of not making resolutions, I was able to go back into all my old things that I hadn't checked off and start crushing them. Stop procrastinating, start doing this, start doing that. And it's just been an amazing year. This 1 month of January, I have conquered so many of my goals from 2016 that I was sitting on, stuff that I was just playing with because I kept adding new things to the list without checking off all those old things. So I said, you know what, I'm going to stop setting new goals and start focusing on the goals that I already have. And it's been dope.
That's awesome. I support that because I definitely I go back and forth sometimes between years where I'm like, I'm not doing anything new. And other years I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to accomplish this. Yeah. So, you know, for me, I kind of only had, like, my resolutions were pretty much kind of like the same things that I've been kind of carrying over. And, you know, but my main goal is right now is, besides of course, being present for my family and being good at my job, is I graduate from school, and our listeners have been hearing me go through the struggle of being in grad school this entire time. So May 22nd, it's just, that's almost there. Tunnel vision. I gotta, so I just gotta get through that, and I just feel like it's gonna be this weight lifted and this deep breath I can take. Exactly. But with that being said, we're gonna move right on into our relationship tip of the week.
Go ahead, Danny.
So, you know, my relationship tip of the week is something that I think is important because we have a hard time listening to our partners. We have a hard time sometimes listening to people who are close to us, period.
Say that one more time.
See, I cut my eyes at him, y'all, just so we're all on the same page here.
You just can't repeat that for me one more time?
I'm getting to the point.
No, I just wanted to hear it again.
I'm getting to... This is my time in the segment.
No, I get that.
Just hush.
I just want to hear that one more time.
Zippy lips. Shh.
You got it.
Thank you.
We take it back.
Thank you. Everyone in the room can't be wrong. So try to receive what is being said. Because sometimes if me and you were talking and I'm like, Kira, this is this. You're like, no, Danny, you bugging. But then if TJ comes in and he's like, Kira, and then, you know, another person comes in and like, no, this is a problem. I'm not saying that it is intentional or that what the behavior that you're exhibiting is malicious or anything of the sort. But if people are coming to you and are kind of hitting on the same concept or the same issue with you, everybody can't be wrong, because you're talking about people coming from all different experiences, all different lengths of time of knowing you and everything in between. Then maybe that's something you need to listen to. So that's something that I need to take heed to sometimes. That's something I know TJ needs to listen to. I feel like we all are guilty of that, where, you know, but ultimately the tip is, you know, try to receive what's being said. Hopefully people are coming to you correctly and respectfully when they come with it, but just knowing that, like, if multiple people are saying it, everybody can't be wrong. And I think that is it for my relationship tip of the week. So, you know, it was short and sweet, but it was like still really thoughtful. What
was it inspired by me?
I think it's inspired by life.
So it wasn't life. I am your life, so I'm inspired by you.
You are a part of my life, yes.
I'm not your life. You're my life.
I'm a part of your life.
No, you're my whole world.
Oh, I'm glad you got that on wax. Okay, I can't wait to run this episode back.
You're my whole world.
I'm your
keep this forever.
Yes, keep that same energy. We'll be off the air. So, but what is your tip of the week, babe?
I'm gonna say this one is specific to relationships, and it's gonna be spontaneous and be okay with, like, doing it no matter what the situation is. So a few weeks ago, me and Danny were beefing.
We always beef. That's what the show's love is for.
And I'm like, I was about to go to happy hour, and I'm just like, yeah, just come. And I'm glad that she, like, went with it.
I didn't want to. I really didn't want to.
Even though she had a headache.
Continue the argument.
I had a headache. We would have argued.
But she should have told me that. If she'd have told me that she had a headache, I would have ordered her the food and just brought it home. I was glad that she came and I waited, and even that was kind of probably like I'm calling and probably annoying her.
He was.
But
because I was trying to drop the baby off to join him.
I think being spontaneous is very important in keeping the relationship good, keeping it strong. We're so used to doing things like routinely that we forget to spice it up sometimes. And it doesn't always have to be like a sexual thing, but hey, what you doing? All right, meet me here. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes it's okay to throw a wrench into the plans and see how that works.
I can understand that.
So I win again.
I'm gonna move on. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you over this because
January to February I'm undefeated. I'm looking like Floyd Mayweather out here.
You're not undefeated. You definitely even like.
Nah.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm gonna pick and choose these battles.
That's cool. So now we can go into SAT word of the week.
Yes, enlighten us.
Decided to choose Pinnacle.
Pinnacle.
Yes.
There was a vodka named Pinnacle.
Highest level.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm. It means highest level or degree. And
you're gonna use it in a sentence?
Sure.
Okay.
For my man Drizzy Drake. I never threw away that paper with my Grammy speech because I haven't hit the pinnacles I plan to reach. That was like poetry right there. That was a great line.
It was a great line.
It was poetic. So, something new for you guys. And on that note, we're going to go to our sponsor, and then we're going to hear the voice of Kara J.
All right.
And we'll be able to formally introduce y'all.
Cool.
Hey friend, it's time for you to ditch those workout gloves and get the grip and wrist support you deserve. What do you suggest? You need to get the Gainz Load and Lock grips by Gainz Sports Gear. They are more durable than gloves, have a non-slip grip pad that provides grip support and added wrist support unlike your traditional workout gloves, and will protect your hands from calluses. Do they come in different colors? Not only do they come in different colors, but they are available for men and women. Do yourself a favor, go to gainsportsgear.com. And remember, a better grip equals a better lift. Embrace the process.
And you too can embrace the process using our code LOVERS10 at Gainz, Gainz, sportsgear.com. And now, back to the episode.
All right, everybody. So you've heard this lovely voice, which I must say, you have a wonderful speaking voice.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And here in front of us, I think it was important that TJ touched on the spoken word artistry of Drake, because we have in front of us.
You see what I did there?
I did see what you. Okay. I was picking up what you're putting down.
Okay. Around the town, funky clown.
Yes.
Okay.
We have author, actress, director, spoken word artist, vlogger, and mother.
Yes.
Kira J.
Hello.
Welcome, Kira.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on Lovers Quarrel.
Yes.
And I love, let me start by saying this. I love the fact that you are so many things. And we've been, TJ and I, since we knew that we were going to have this interview, have been watching I've been watching going to YouTube. So watch your older stuff. So I've seen stuff I looked at you, been on there since 2011. So, yes. So you an OG YouTuber.
Yep.
And I can appreciate it because spoken word is something that I feel like people sometimes think that it's super easy. It's like anybody can string words together, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, it's not. That's not quite it. Because I'll say this: anyone can string words together, but not everybody can do it, and it makes sense or be impactful or meaningful or something. So
exactly.
That is because that's when you get those people when I reach into my pocket,
and I and he.
Yeah, and that's stuff that makes you want to cringe. You're just that. But that's not you.
Yes, I like to say I do poetry for people who don't like poetry.
I like that.
You know, because not everybody's into spoken word. I know as a spoken word artist that the industry itself is very cliche. It's very outdated. You go to the shows and some people are still like you said, with the voice, and I have to sound like this, and then they get on the stage and everyone sounds the same, and they're snapping and they're using the same buzzwords. So I'm the poet that gets out there and they're going, who is this? That was different, you know what I mean? Because as a millennial, we're more influenced by hip hop than by the spoken word itself. So it's more of a flow to it than it is anything else.
Definitely. And I think that kind of helps us start to kind of open this up, which is what originally like brought you to spoken word, because were you always just like, as soon as you knew how to read and write, you were like, oh, this is it? Or did something happen? Like, what brought you to being a spoken word artist?
Well, I was a poet my whole life. Okay. And poetry and spoken word are two completely very different things.
Oh, okay. Can you kind of like differentiate?
Explain it?
Yes.
Okay, so poetry is just the written context of your feelings on paper. Spoken word is the performance of it and how you say it aloud. So every spoken word artist can do poetry, but every poet can't do spoken word.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Everybody can't get up there and perform and get on that mic and you know, some people are just writers. Yeah. And I've been to shows with some poets who try to step out of the box and come into the spoken word lane, but it's so different. So as a poet, naturally, I published my first book at 20. The book did pretty well. It was selling out. I was going international, but nobody still kind of knew who I was. So I decided to take one of those poems and then try to spoken word it, and I recorded a video. And that was the first time I ever recorded myself doing that video to post it on social media, because YouTube is kind of like social media, but it's kind of like its own community. So I took my first video and I put it on Facebook, 3 million views in a day.
Wow.
And I hadn't been on stage yet. I hadn't was performing yet. And I was like, dang, so spoken word can take you further than just the poems themselves. Yeah. So then after that, I was everywhere. Open mic here, you know, just get off the paper and get in the streets.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's
dope.
That's
inspiring.
Shit.
In a day. It was crazy.
Like, did your head spin? You were like,
what?
Whoa.
And it was different because it was poetry that was getting that attention. I didn't fight nobody. I didn't pop no booty. I didn't, you know what I mean? It was just like
me,
literature?
Words. Yes.
Is words doing this right now? So I just was like, oh yeah, I like this vibe.
Definitely. You want to go ahead?
What are your regular inspirations? Like when you are doing your spoken word?
I get all my inspiration from my daughter's father.
Okay.
He is my whole muse. He is my subjects of all my poems.
About that?
He hates it so much.
Okay.
He hates it so much. Like I write my books about him. I made my movie about him, and he's just like, oh my God, like stop. Like I put his name in things. I don't care. God. But he's, you know, they say never date a writer or you'll end up as material.
True.
So everything about the women is about me and everything about the men is about him. And he just has to live with that. You signed up for this.
But I do respect that you aren't like, although that is your muse, you do see, you go from both sides. And I think that's fair. You're non-biased.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Unbiased, yeah.
So I think that's important because, you know, we all have our own personal feelings, but when you could be non-biased by the situation, like this is where I messed up at. Even though he fucked up, right? This is where I messed up.
The self-accountability of it all.
Yeah,
I'm very self-aware. I couldn't be the amazing writer I am if I wasn't like, okay, let me touch on my flaws real quick, because sometimes women, we're just like, ain't nothing wrong with me. What you did, you know what I mean? So I think when I'm able to acknowledge my wrongs in a situation, you get resolved a lot faster that way.
True. And it's hard. It's not easy to
at all
be
I hate saying I'm wrong. I'm a Leo. I got pride.
Yes, y'all do.
So when I'm wrong, it's like,
yes, you do. My brother-in-law is a Leo. One of my cousins, my best friend's a Leo, and
it hurts. It physically hurts.
It's like,
to
I'm
be
about
wrong.
to die. Oh my
I had to apologize. Oh my gosh, I'm not right. I'm always right. So we get very big-headed, but
I definitely understand that. So because obviously life is your source material, you know, and your experiences, you took that and you turned it into a whole movie, Breaking Point, which I saw when I was doing my YouTube clicks, that you even had it was like premiere at Magic Johnson. That's
Theater.
So cool.
Yes, thank you.
And so this is kind of like follow me here with this one.
Okay.
So what was the breaking point that you reached in order to know that this needed to go from an idea to like a tangible product? Like, what was it like? Okay, I gotta put this on film. Like, as like, you know, you've been doing the spoken word thing, you've been writing poetry, but now you're going to like add this extra layer to it. So like, what was that turning point or that breaking point that got you there?
Well, initially I was like, you know what, I want to get off the couch and start doing visuals for the poems. So I had set up a time and I wrote down everything to do a visual for this poem and a visual for that poem and a visual for another poem. And then I stopped and I was like, wait a minute, all these poems are telling the same story. So if I could just create the visuals from start to finish of how I got to this last point, then I could tell a story and combine them all together. And that's how the movie came about. Because in the movie, it's spoken word piece after piece, and we're transitioning throughout the whole story. So those poems were all written in different years as the actual timeline of how everything went down.
Every relationship.
That's dope. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I think that that makes perfect sense, because it's just like when you start kind of realizing, you're like, well, wait a minute, like I could see how people, you would do something as like these individual projects or ideas.
That was the first plan.
Yeah, and then it's just like, well, this just is like, when you start seeing the sequence of things, you're like, this still makes sense. It tells an entire story.
It tells an entire story. Initially, it wasn't even going to be a movie. It was going to be an album. Because my sister, you know, we were talking about how, like, I think Obama or somebody had won like a spoken word Grammy.
Yes, he did.
So she was like, you know, we should do the spoken word album. And I was like, yeah, that would be cool. So we started talking about the album. And I'm like, well, with the album, I'm going to have to do music videos or spoken word visual videos. And then that's when I was like, oh, no, we're doing a movie. We're going to do this all in one shot. So it's going to actually be Breaking Point the movie, Breaking Point the album, and Breaking Point the book.
Okay. I love it. And
then you're going to do a sequel.
Yes.
To the movie.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
The sequel's crazy.
Oh, boy.
So with creating the movie, how hard was it? Like what difficulties did you run into? Did you ever doubt yourself during creating it? How hard was it finding the actors? And
see, that's the thing. All of the actors in the movie are my best friends.
Gotcha.
From the star in the movie, that's my childhood friend, John. Shout out to Jay Prezi. I grew up with him. So I just called him like, hey, John, I need you. And he was like, what, when? I'm there. And then the side chick in the movie is my sister, like literally tattooed, one of my best friends from life. I'm like, hey, you gonna play my side chick? And she was like,
sign me up.
Sign me up. I mean, it was sucked at first because it was like, oh man, I gotta be the side chick. Everybody's gonna watch this movie and hate me. But you know, for the creative.
Exactly.
I think the hardest thing for me was I set deadlines for myself.
Gotcha.
So I set the premiere date and I picked the venue and I picked everything before I even filmed it.
Gotcha.
So I was just like, this is the day before my birthday. It's a Saturday. I'm going to do it this day. Movie wasn't even shot. So after I had signed my contracts, I had sold my tickets, we had to then go, okay, let's shoot this movie.
We're going to be looking at a blank screen.
We're going to be looking at a blank screen. I'm going to be sitting up there with my microphone like, I know I promised you guys a movie, but that was the hardest thing for me. I had actually did a successful GoFundMe campaign to fund it because my supporters, I told them like, you know, I don't really have money to produce a film with the lighting and the cameras and the editing and all of these things that it's going to take to make a movie. I can't do it financially right now. But if you guys help me make the movie, then I will put the movie out for free. You won't have to download it. You won't have to buy it. It'll be on YouTube. So my fans came together, $10,000, and they made that movie happen for me.
That's fire.
That's so dope. And I think it speaks to you and it speaks to the people, and it speaks to you and it speaks to the following and the foundation that you've built.
Yes, I love them.
Yes, it's inspiring because, you know, we're doing this you know, a different, totally different lane, but we've had a little taste of that, of just like when we had our first live show, and we were like, okay, maybe like 50 people. And then like we sold out for 50 people. We were like, okay, we'll put a couple more. Like the venue could hold more people, we'll put up more. And like we technically sold out like 2-3 more times. It was like, holy shit.
It's empowering.
Yeah, it's like people really
support you.
Yeah.
Because it's bigger than just, when you're doing something positive, you don't just have fans. You have supporters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not people that are just on my pictures liking and commenting. It's people that are like, Kara, how can I help you? What do you need to talk about? And my lane initially started because, you know, I say there's a difference between a cry for help and a cry for attention. I was online crying for help every day after my breakup. I'm sad about this. I'm hurt about that. I was going through so many things. And my supporters came to me as more of a support group than a following.
Gotcha.
It was just like, oh my God, she's going through a breakup. I've been through a breakup, or I'm going through a breakup too. And then we just became like family. And to this day, it's people that I haven't met yet that we still talk all the time. It's people that flew in from Chicago and Baltimore and here and there to come to the premiere to meet me for the first time. So
that's a great feeling.
It is.
I mean, even like, so I have more free time than Danny does with her being a teacher and school and mother. I mean, I'm a father, but she does.
I know, I'm a mom.
She does more of the heavy lifting. So like when I'll do more of the speaking to, like, I call them lovers. I don't want to call them fans or, you know what I mean? Like, we're family. So, you know, but I agree with like being able to speak to people and, you know, not knowing, like, even though we're explaining how we're feeling, you know, it may help them. And, you know, they may be able to give their point of view on something that makes us be like, oh, shit. You know, so.
It's very connecting. Social media is so much more than people realize.
Yeah, it's not always the devil, as TJ calls it. It can
and I
be,
say
but
it is whatever you make it.
So I call it the devil in the sense of the negative things. When it's positive, no, I'm not saying it's the devil, but it is the devil when people are like trying to destroy happy homes, or they're looking for negative things to be able to comment on or post, and like that's when it's like it's becoming negative.
It just shows you what people really are.
Yeah.
So the negative people show even more of a negative side, and the positive people shine in that light. So those people who are trolling were always trolls. Now they're just more bold with it because they got the platform to hide behind an at name.
True. Very true. And you may have already answered this, or maybe the answer might be a little obvious, but is it at all difficult for you to share so much of your own experiences, your own highs and lows with the world? Because it's, you know, your life is your source material, and life could be great and life could be very cruel sometimes.
Yeah.
So how does that feel for you? Or was that ever a point, like a hurdle that you had to overcome?
Only recently, because when I was younger, you know, I started this whole social media stuff a long time ago. I probably was like 23 when I first went viral. So I had no inhibitions. I had no kid. I had no care.
Yeah.
So I could just say whatever I wanted online without thinking about the backlash or thinking about the consequences. And now that I'm older, you know, I'm nearing 30, I'm a mom, I'm going through so many different life things. It's like, it's pieces of me that I don't want to give away. And people kind of, you know, they want me to be that unfiltered, my life is your life type of person. And it's like, I've outgrew that. I can't give you all of me anymore. I can't tell you everything anymore because I'm no longer that little girl that's posting everything online. And it's also a matter of your mistakes, being that you connect with your followers so much. When you make a mistake, you got to think about you living with that mistake and the embarrassment of them knowing that you made that mistake, or you don't want to make certain choices because then they won't like it. So it's like having a judgmental friend in your ear. You could sometimes that friend is going to support you when you do right, but if you feel like you're doing wrong or something they wouldn't be proud of, you got to hear it from 200,000 people. You know what I mean?
It's
so
a whole lot.
That's the hardest thing about it right now. It's like when I do certain things, I'm like, I can't post this because they're not going to like that. They're going to be mad that I did that. You know, it's a lot of pressure.
Is that hard for you sometimes, though? Because I feel like sometimes we want to post what we want to post, but it's like, do you ever get a moment where you be like, I don't want to post it, or you know, I really want to post this, and fuck how they feel?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually exclusive. I'm actually writing my third book right now. It's called Don't Look Up to Me. And it's about the pressures of being a public figure, to take back your public self, to take back the figure you. And I don't want to worry about being a role model. I can't figure out who you want me to be when I'm still trying to figure out who I am, you know? So that book is just going to be able to tell anyone who's dealing with any source of being a role model or a big sister or this or that, just don't look up to me. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I mess up in a lot of aspects of my life. And I want you to still appreciate me and support me even when I don't behave like your fave, even when I'm stepping outside the box to do my own thing. So I don't want to disrespect them and say F how you feel, because it's like, I know that it's coming from a place of support, but I want you to understand that I'm still for me. I'm still my own person.
They can still look up to you, but maybe they should look up to you, or look up to people, like look up to who people that they role model with. Like,
look up to goals. Don't look up to people.
Yeah.
Because people are not perfect. Look up to actions. Look up to that time that I did this thing.
Yeah.
But the minute you start to idolize or what would Kara J do, or it's just too much pressure. Because I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the influence for you.
Yeah.
I took influencer out my bio. I took public figure off my profile. I took all of those things down. Because once you sign up to be those things, you have to live up to those titles.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I was just like, you know what? I don't want to be a public figure no more. I don't belong to you guys. The only person that has to look up to me is my daughter.
Yeah.
You know? So I just had to change all of that. It was a huge image thing for me, where it was like, when you making decisions and you're scared to share them because of how other people might feel about them, it's like, oh no, I can't live my life with you guys.
When you created the movie, did you let your baby father see it first?
No, he was incarcerated.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when he came home, he was pissed.
Okay.
Well,
he was incarcerated, but it was just like, I was trying to explain to him about Beyonce Lemonade. And I said, when Beyonce was upset at Jay-Z and she made all of these songs and I Ain't Sorry and this and that and Boy Bye, Jay-Z didn't really get mad. He just used to, you know, my wife has this creative expression about her and I'm going to let her be her creative butterfly and flow.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to get him to understand my creative and expression and doing things based on a mood, as opposed to just me saying, I hate you, I'm going to make this movie about you. It was never that. It was me letting myself heal.
It was a process for you, a healing process for you.
Yeah.
And I think you made a good point about with the influence and the how much you share yourself, because I think that's sometimes a thing I always think about with the podcast, because like we have our own like podcast page and then we have our personal pages, and there's times where like there's things that I post on my personal page and I'm like, I wonder if I should post this on the Lovers Quarrel page, because it would be like, you know, people become more invested when you share of yourself.
I gave all of me away. They're so invested.
And you know, and like at the time in my life, in our lives where we started this, we had you first, and then also too, I think the thing we're talking about too is like when you have more to lose, and I'm always kind of like torn between that, because I'm like, I know it's important to be a level of transparent and open with people, because you want them to support you, and people support people who they like and who they feel like they know. But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to open myself up or ourselves up or our child up to scrutiny or criticism, or people feeling like they have a say, have a voice in what goes on here. So like it's that back and forth all the time. So I'm always kind of like thinking about that when I'm like, which page do I post this to? Do I start filming under ours, or do I start filming under my own? Because my own is like, it's private, so it's whoever I'll accept it. So it's like, I'm okay.
And that's the piece I found.
I'm comfortable with that. Whereas our show page is public. So it's just it's a gift and a curse. It's a double-edged sword.
I would say I share enough that can heal or help someone, and then I keep enough to myself that is just for me, that I don't want opinions on. Because if I share it to the public page, then I have to know that people are going to speak on it, and they're going to feel entitled to speak on it because I posted it for them. Yeah. But you know, as any smart public person would do, we have multiple pages.
Yes.
So whenever I want to post something that I don't really care about someone who doesn't know me speaking on, I post it to my private account, and I don't have anybody on there that I don't know personally. So the public page is for stuff that I'm okay with getting feedback, and then anything that I don't really care to hear or say on, I don't want you to feel entitled to me telling you anything. I don't want you to feel like I owe you to telling you anything. I just won't post it to the Kara J page. And it was like, it sucked though, because when I first started the Kara J page, it was my personal page. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to create this Instagram and be a public figure. I just grew up on Instagram and became a public figure. So now it's like, Instagram is something that I can no longer give my all on, because I have so many followers now and so many opinions now. So I stick to my Facebook page where it's only friends and family.
Got
it. So we obviously share in common. We have lovely little girls. Yes, who are maybe like a year or less apart. So we know this world very well. This new journey of parenthood.
Yes.
And although, you know, your daughter's father's in her life, but y'all are not together, so you're a single mom.
Well, we're reconciling.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for the status update.
Yes. This is an exclusive.
Breaking, y'all.
Breaking
working
news.
it out.
I haven't posted that on my timeline yet.
Oh, I guess.
My followers gonna be like, what? You made a movie?
Be like, that's why it's a sequel, duh.
Yeah, hello.
So, let's say your time as a single mother and going through this like breakup and maybe even now coming back to the reconciliation portion. How has motherhood just in general, let's say that, changed your outlook on like life and poetry? Because I mean, I know we all talk about how like, and me and TJ talk about till we're blue in the face about how parenthood just like it rocks your world. And it's like I always say it's the best, most exhausting thing you'll ever do.
It's so amazing though.
But it's like, how does that then change like the way you approach things or the way that you write about things and speak on things?
I would say that I hate to put this pressure on my daughter, but she's my source of strength. You know how some people be like, oh, I found this man and he changed my life. Before I had my daughter, I was so weak. I was so defeated. I was so depressed. I was so insecure. And a baby is not a Band-Aid. I say that to people all the time. A baby can't fix these issues and these and that. But in having her, it made me want to fix those things. And I did a deep level of soul searching when I had her. So I write different now. I talk different now. I move different now. Everything became different because of her. And I know that I say it's pressure on her because it's like, for the rest of her life, she's going to have to know, like, oh my God, my mom is like, I'm her source of joy and all of these things. And I don't want to do that to her. So I'm still in search of fulfillment in my career to take some of that pressure off of her. But motherhood allowed me to find strength because when you have a girl, as you know, it's not going to be a matter of teaching your son how to be the proper husband or this and that. Your daughter's going to end up however you end up. Your daughter's not going to go and be with the man that you tell her to be with. She's going to go and be with the man that she watches treats you a certain way. She's going to follow you. She's going to get her heart broken the way you get your heart broken. She's going to hurt the way you hurt. So it was like, if I don't fix me, I'm going to break her. So I had to, like, when I laid on that table, they said, it's a girl, like my life flashed before my eyes. I pictured her getting cheated on like I was allowing. I pictured her feeling defeated like I was allowing. And I'm like, do I want my daughter 25 years from now to feel as broken as I felt? And the answer was no. And I just changed everything. From that day that I said I was having a girl, I was like, I can't have a girl like me. I have to have a girl like the woman I want to be. So I have to become that woman to be her mom. Because the Kara that was before her, wouldn't want her to be like that. And then I apologized to my mom, actually. I'm like,
when that happens,
I'm sorry that I was so hurt. And you had to watch your daughter be hurt for so many years. And I was going through so many things and I couldn't imagine as a mom what it took for my mom to watch me go through that. So I was just like, you know what? I vowed to live in my highest happiness from here on out because I want my daughter to live in that. And I just want to love on everyone who loves me to just do better.
Yeah, that's such a powerful thing because and that's, again, something TJ and I talk about all the time because and like sometimes I feel like I get on his nerves, but I'm like, what do you want for her? Like, what do you think? Like, I play out scenarios in my head about like, what kind of person is Tatum going to be as she gets older? What do you think she's going to be interested in? What do you, like, even when I was pregnant, I was like, what do you think her favorite color is going to be? Like, and it's
the light flashes before your eyes.
And I think it's important because I do have that same feeling of like, I want to be the best version of myself, which is why like I kill myself sometimes.
Close. They're watching so close.
They are. And even at this young age, and I want to be the best version of myself, and I want her to see like a healthy relationship between her father and I, because we have our issues and our flaws, and we breakdowns in communication and times that we say shit we don't mean, and we also have these moments where, like, you know, where like one thing she doesn't do it as much, but it's silly, and it's like where we kiss and then like she wants to like get in on the kiss too. And we're
my daughter's like, no, don't touch my daddy. she's not here for the reconciliation.
She wants to get in on.
She's like, sis, this is mine, because she's never seen us together. We broke up before she was even born. Okay, so now that we're back to like cuddly, and she's like, what's going on here?
Wait a minute,
you kissing my daddy? I'm like, girl, that's how you got here.
She's like, no. She's like, but I'm here now.
Yes, this is mine. She cries every time I touch him. No, my daddy.
Oh my gosh. Yes. But it's so important and powerful to like be the people that like you want your kids to see in the world, because like I wouldn't, there's and there's things about my upbringing and things about our relationship and who I am as a person, that I'm glad I am, because I'm glad she gets to see that. But there's plenty of things that I wish that I'm like, you want to be better at, because you want them to, like, you want to do better. Every parent wants to be better and their child to do better than they did. And
at least that's what they should want.
They should want, and you know, and I feel like the three of us at least want that.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Definitely.
So it just ultimately it speaks to that, like, continuous growth and like how you start to move different, like, as you get older, because when kids come into the picture,
it changes everything.
It changes everything.
I always tell people,
every little thing.
Like, getting married, it changes the relationship, but having a child, like, really changes the relationship. Like if you want to not have a successful relationship, if you throw a kid in there, it can truly make you or break you. Because now it doesn't become about y'all no more.
Exactly.
And you know, we're married, and they said it's supposed to be man and wife first, but it really becomes about that child. Like, you know, like our thinking is different, and you know, we've had disagreements on it, and you know, we've had to grow on it, and it takes both partners to have to be okay with growing and learning and being able to, you know, do it. Because again, when this baby comes, you know, they need like 24/7 care.
I gotta keep you alive. Like, I gotta keep you alive.
At least until they start like developing their own personality and
self-independence,
and then you can kind of, you know, pull away and do things differently. Right. But when they're first here, like, you know, it's like,
why night doesn't matter. I need to hold this baby.
Exactly.
We can't go anywhere.
Exactly. Like,
the baby has sick.
I'm tired because, like, you know, I've been like keeping someone like breathing, like, you know, and focus.
And these are things that I wish that I appreciate this show so much, because you have these conversations, and it's like, maybe if me and my daughter's father would have had these conversations when she was still so young, it could have been fixed. But because we were like first time parents, it was like F you too. You know what I mean? So we didn't realize that, let's hold on to this relationship. We're gonna get through this new parent stage. The new parent stage broke us. It broke us and it changed us. And then when we came back together older, it was like, that was stupid. You know what I mean?
And it's not easy.
We broke up because we were tired. You know what I mean? We broke up because
the fact that you guys were able to see that and go back to it. You know? Again, we were able to catch it earlier, but some people don't catch it. Some people truly go through that, and then it's dissolved, and there's no fixing, there's no repairing it. So the fact that you guys were able to, like, kind of come back later and just be like, you know, it's a funny story now.
Right. It's a funny story now.
But it's traumatic as fuck.
We talk on the phone every day for a minimum of like 2 to 3 hours, maximum like 8 hours, because we still got to work and raise our kids. But it's just like catching up on all the things that once we did that breakup, we both did our single thing, and he was my only adult relationship. I was with him since I was 17, so I didn't even know how to date. So that was like, all right, I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna date these guys, or whatever the case was. And then when we came back to each other, it was like, let's come back with the honest slate of how everything ended. Let's come back with the open door of conversation of where we went wrong, where you went wrong, so we don't end any argument without a resolution. Gotcha. So these things ain't going to come up 10 years from now. This argument ain't going to matter 10 years from now. And hopefully that will help my daughter be a healthier child as well.
Definitely. It's important, because Lord knows, like, there's so many awful people walking around this planet because they haven't, like, had those skills and learn how to cope with things, and it's hard. It's hard
as a unit.
It is, and like you said, like, and the there's a lot of traumatic shit that happens when you first have a baby, and
it is,
and you become resentful, and like, on top of everything else, like, you're tired. So, like, think about how agitated you are when you're tired in general. So now you add it on top of it, and like, it becomes so much harder, and you're trying to make these like really important decisions in a short amount of time on running on fumes and everything.
Exactly. There should be like a class that helps new dads deal with moms with postpartum.
Yes.
Because it's so many arguments that we've had where now that we're talking about it and we're reconciling, it's like, he's like, looking back on that, I didn't know why you were so mean to me. I didn't know why. Because he used to just say things like, oh, you're so lazy, or why you don't get up, and this and that. And I'm just like, like he didn't get it at all, because this was both of our first child. Yeah. So there should be some type of man. This is why 2-parent households are important, because if your dad would have explained to your ass that I was dealing with postpartum and all of these things.
If they experienced that. Because like my parents, so me and Danny first like argument as parents was kind of like the way that my parents explained me to her. She thought she's seen it a certain way, and when I wasn't the same exact way, based off of the situation, she was upset.
So his parents used to, his mom and dad used to always talk about how when they had him, that they were like this great tag team. Like his dad did the early mornings and his mom did like the late nights, because that's just their natural like sleep patterns and stuff. So like she would stay up with him, his dad would be asleep, and then when TJ was a baby and woke up early, his dad would get up with him and they'd be rocking and rolling. They would tag team.
Now that's all Danny heard.
So I was just like, okay, well he's a product.
When I spoke to my mother,
so he's gonna take one of these.
When I spoke to my mother,
he's gonna be that.
Yeah.
When I talked to my mother, it was more like my father just got in where he fit in. So that's the route I was going, but Danny didn't necessarily like that, and we had to have that conversation, and I had to be able to understand it. And at the time, I was probably like not for it, like I don't understand it. But you start to see things differently. Like at the end of the day, my daughter became like the most important thing. I mean, my wife's very important. Don't get me wrong, but making sure my daughter was good and making sure that I understood certain things and be able to respect certain things. And I needed that conversation. I needed her to be able to tell me how she was feeling and why, and give me examples so that way I can grow from it. I always say to people like, why did you tell me more stuff? And I always feel like even if we had the book that told us, we wouldn't be ready.
He's hard headed in general. He always has to find out. TJ always has to find out the hard way. So like when we
sometimes I have to burn my hand.
Yes, you do.
You know where the saying "happy wife, happy life" comes from, right? Because you take care of the woman, she takes care of everything. So it was never your job to take care of your daughter. You make sure she's straight. She got it. Yeah. I'm gonna take the daughter off your hands. Go do what you want to do. Healthy moms raise healthy children. Yeah. So if we're breaking and we're falling apart, and you're like, oh, my daughter's good. No, she's not. She's gonna have a depressed mommy. No,
and
that's a good point.
As we continue, there's been multiple times like I've just been like, all right, like she had homework. All right, I'm gonna go take Tatum out of the house.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you kind of have to
grow into that. As first time parents,
you have to
don't know
the trial and error. But the communication is, I think, that's like our biggest thing. You got to be able to communicate and take whatever, and not always take it as they're yelling at me, but they're angry. They have an angry tone, but it's not personal. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just different things.
This isn't about me right now. But this is about this frustration and exhaustion.
Yeah.
It was a scene in my movie where I actually acted that out. Yeah. And I was just like, we were arguing about nothing because we were tired. Yeah. And the baby was crying. So we're just ribbing at each other, and it's like, we just need to sleep.
Yeah.
That's the underlying thing. Like, I like the quote that says, it's you and your partner versus the problem. It's not you and your partner versus each other.
Yeah.
So once you get that mindset of we really gonna, you know what, you sleep for an hour, I'll take him in the room, then I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna sleep, and you really rotate it like that, then everything just falls into place naturally.
It was a part in this. It was one of the scenes where John was working and he was tired, and you was like, and y'all were arguing about being tired. I'm
arguing about, you ain't tired, I got the baby, I'm real tired.
And, oh my God.
And I'm just tag teaming, and these are actual arguments because.
But I can relate to that. So that's what I'm saying.
Because neither one of us are trying to understand each other's plane. We're trying to challenge it.
It's like a pissing contest.
Yeah, because I'm like, I did this, you did that.
Like sometimes we still have that now, where he'll be like, you always tired. And I know you're joking sometimes.
I do be joking, but let's be honest about this tiredness.
Okay, let's be honest.
Because ever since I've known my wife, I'm not saying ever. Once she graduated college,
once I became a real grown up with a real job,
she was always tired. So now when she has our daughter, she's like really tired. But
take the daughter and multiply that by how many kids in school.
But I was able to differentiate the two. And she's even, and I think her being able to own it, like, I apologize for saying I was tired before, because now this is real tired.
Yeah, this is exhaustion.
Yes.
She didn't have to do that. She could have played it like whatever, but I think that helped. So that was the difference.
Filling you in.
Yeah.
Sometimes instead of being mean or taking it out on you, the fact that she communicates and just, I'm tired. I'm tired. This is not about you if I'm being snippy or anything. I'm tired.
That's why I try to make sure to be like mindful of things, or it's a Saturday, like she had a spa day for herself.
Amazing.
And I was like, cool, I'll take Tatum. Like, I try to be more mindful of what she has going on and making sure that she's taking care of herself.
And counting down till May 22nd.
Yes.
Oh, May 22nd.
Yo, when I tell you, when I tell you the day.
I remember the date he was in the room singing, like, May 22nd.
May 22nd, we're going to have fireworks, all that.
I can't wait, because Lord knows, I'm ready.
I'm going to be the loudest person in there.
I'm ready.
And no one will understand why.
It's amazing to have that support to get things done.
No, definitely.
Because it really does take a village.
It does. And it's like you can accomplish things that you want to do by yourself, but you can't do it as healthily.
Oh,
yeah.
You know what I mean? You could do it, but you'll be broken down when you finish.
Yeah.
That's one of the other
things. When you do it with a team, it's like you do it.
That's one of the other things
great.
I tell people. Like, the village is the most important of having a child. Like, if it was just me and her, we would have killed each other.
Yeah.
If the plane would have fell, like, but having our family, like, her side, my side, being able to, like,
our friends.
Really,
my daughter's father was gone since she was 10 months. And then he came home, like, right before her second birthday. So I was really, like, by myself.
Yeah.
And then, like, his family tagging in, my family tagging in. So it was able to be an easy introduction for him back into the picture, because my village, we already had a rhythm going.
Yeah. That's the most important. That's probably, like, the most... That's probably the biggest thing that I'm, like, so appreciative of. Fuck the baby showers. Fuck gifts. Like, the fact that...
Actual people.
Yeah, the fact that we had people who's, like... So my little cousin, who's also Tatum's godmother, she goes to school out there.
Nearby.
So, like, she'll come over on a Saturday night. Like, she's a college student.
Right.
She got her whole life, but she'll drop what she's doing to come watch Tatum. So I make sure, like, Taylor got her. All right, Danny, we gotta go to dinner on Monday. I gotta take
my little brother's that way.
Yeah.
Because when her father was gone, I couldn't, like, work, I couldn't perform, I couldn't do much because I had the baby by myself. Like, it's not like a father that's not around. He's just not in the picture.
Yeah.
So my brother was just always like, I'm gonna take my niece and, you go do a show, you go do whatever you want to do. And I always wanted to sleep, but it counts for something.
Exactly.
And then I'm just always bigging those moments up, like, to you took her for an afternoon. To me, I got a break. And then when you're a single mom, you don't know when the next time you're going to get a break is. It used to just be everything. Those naps.
Yes.
I'm going to take a long shower without her. Oh, my God. It used to be amazing.
I know. And
that little help that people don't even realize how much you save in my life.
It means so much.
It means so much.
And, like, and even though, we're doing this together, but it's just, like, having it be somebody coming in, it's like, oh, we can go on a date, or we can just go to sleep, and we can sleep, and now we're kind of sleeping through the
relight the flame.
Exactly, and we can, but, like, without the interruption, because when the baby's around, there's always, they're not lying when they say, like, it's your heart outside your chest, that's your body. So, like, there's always a level of, like, there's, like, a tiny level of, like, anxiety, like, okay, is she okay? Is she what's she doing? But when you know that she's with people that you trust,
yes,
and that love her the way you love her, then you can, like, you can just breathe for a second. Yeah. And I know what you mean. Like, oh, I can take a long shower. I can go get my hair done. Oh, I can go get my nails done. I
remember every time I shave my legs, it's like an affair. It's like something huge. And to regular people who just, like, leave their kids with their mom all the time, or don't really have their kids full time, that's regular stuff. I'm going to get my nails. I'm going to get my hair done. To a single mom, it's like, oh my God, I get to shave my leg. Like, it's the hugest thing in the world for me. It's a small thing. You appreciate things more. You get so much more appreciative. And I was always the type of mom that was like, I understand it's a favor and not a requirement.
Yes.
Because nobody's required to take care of the child but me and her father.
Exactly.
So when anybody in my family or my tribe step in, I'm just like, Thank you.
I do.
You don't have to do this, but you do it, and I want you to know.
And that's the reason
some
why
parents
I try
have
to make
entitlement.
sure. Yeah.
Oh, you ain't gonna watch my kid. Ain't
and that's the reason why I try to make sure.
And I'm like, no, this ain't your job. This ain't your job
if
to do
Taylor
that
does
for me.
it, I'm like, okay, let's take her out. Let's send her some money.
Yeah.
Or, if she's gonna come over, listen, what do you want to eat? I'll
order
pay.
your food, right, like that.
If my sister-in-law is doing it, like, you need anything, like, I'm telling you, that's been the best thing, like, just having that, just to know I have that.
I got through that year without him, without all my support. Like, his brother, my brother, both of our sisters, it was just like, we was
even
all
when
tag teaming.
so like Danny, for the first 2 years, she went to Essence. So the first year, her father came down, and that was like dope. RP.
Yeah.
The second time, it was just me and Tatum. And Taylor came over, but it was just me and Tatum. And, from the first time, even the second time, both times I had to text her, like, thank you. Like, I see what you go through.
Right.
Like having you here helps a lot because, it's a lot,
Yeah.
And sometimes as men, we may, the mother's the nurturer, and we'll just go ahead.
Do it.
Yeah, exactly. We don't always see the other side.
It's just that sometimes, like, I think guys just don't always realize that they don't. I think moms tend to jump into action faster, and then and I don't, sometimes you can't let it be a waiting game because there's like an immediate need that needs to be met, and so I think that's where that comes from. But I appreciated it because when the first time I went to the Essence Music Festival after we had Tatum, and she was like 3 months old, and TJ was like, "Yo," and I was like, "Yeah, I told you." Like I'm like, I was like, I wasn't lying, and then even the next time, and now she's a little older and busier and stuff, but it was still. Those times are appreciated because it's not like he's not like he's an absent or a not present father or something.
Right.
But
you're just a mom.
It's just a mom, and it's just different.
Yeah.
It's just different, and it's not meant to be a bad thing or a bashing of a dad thing. It's just
right because they have their jobs that we can't touch either.
Exactly.
Especially when it comes to little girls, there's certain ways he can love on you that I can't. I'm mommy.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's a quote that I love that I follow by lately. It said, "I'm proud of you is just as powerful as I love you." Mm-hmm. So you telling me you love me, yeah, that feels good. But when you tell me I'm doing a good job as a mom and thank you for my kid and all of those things, it just feels like, woo.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh.
I feel you. I think
it's just as powerful as I love you. Like, I'm proud of the job you are doing. I see you. I might not say it every day, but our kid is amazing. They're healthy. She ain't missing no appointments. She's this, she's that. And it's just like, if I'm doing a good job as a mother, you can't say nothing better.
It's the best
even if I
compliment
fail
you
in
get.
my career, if I fail in this and that, I'm doing a good job here. I got this.
It's the best compliment you could give a person who's a parent.
Thanks.
But I think with that being said, I think it's a great, that quote was a great way to kind of wrap this sucker up. Kira, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before you do that,
what? Oh.
When does the sequel come out?
Oh, the sequel.
Are you gonna book the place first?
Yeah,
and then you gonna do the same thing. Like, I got nothing written down. But
I'm gonna start filming when it gets warm outside because the second movie is a summertime vibe. I'll give you guys a little snippet of it. It's gonna be about that year that I was away from him.
Okay.
So the whole phase. Got
it.
So it's called the healing point instead of breaking point. I had to come to heal with myself instead of trying to go find a new guy that was going to treat me better. The healing point is going to be filmed this spring and summer.
That's dope.
Dope. Exciting. Well, we will definitely be there to support and to, promote and whatever else you need. So we're looking forward to it. Just keep us informed and updated. Yes. We'll put these in the show notes, but just let people know where they can find you.
You could follow me all across social media at I am Kira J. That's IAMKIRAJ. I have a lot of dope things coming to fruition soon. So wait for that. It'll be on my timeline.
We'll also put the movie in our show notes so that way
people
thank
you so much.
Can see it.
Click and watch and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And as far as us two old fogies over here,
I'm not old. You're definitely old.
I am. We're not gonna do this. I'm 8 months older than him.
Yeah.
That's it.
Round that up.
No.
We were born in 2 different years.
I teach science, not math.
Okay.
Okay.
But you did teach math. Maybe that's why you stopped. Anyway.
Thank you for listening to Lovers Quarrel. As always, though, you can find us on Instagram at Lovers Quarrel Show, on Twitter at Lovers Quarrel 7, and email us with your questions, concerns, headaches, heartaches, and anything in between at loversquarrelshow@gmail.com. And you know that I am your girl, Danny.
And I'm your guy, TJ.
And as always, we fuss.
And we fight.
But we love. Bye. Don't take my sign off. Don't take my sign off. Goodbye.
Later. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.